Hi, this is Vicki from Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome to this learning session on pumpkins. With fall brings the pumpkins and squashes from the fields into the stores. Maybe you and your family will visit a pumpkin patch where you can pick your own pumpkins. Some of the pumpkins are tiny and some are very, very large. Some pumpkins are orange, but did you know that pumpkins come in many different colors instead of white? Some pumpkins are grown to be eaten and are used in soups and breads and pies. We're even going to make a pumpkin quick bread in our session so you can taste pumpkin for yourself. We will even use pumpkin seeds for counting in this session. You ready to get started? I love our collection of pumpkin books, starting with our nonfiction offering about field to table journey of this year's pumpkin pie. This book has great pictures of all the different stages our pumpkins went through to get to our table. The next book, The Very Best Pumpkin, is about Peter who finds a lone pumpkin in his field and decides to turn it into the very best pumpkin. Our third book, written by Linda White, is about a little girl who's really not a fan of pumpkins, but through an accident finds herself with way too many pumpkins. What will she do? We planned some serious fun for this session. A generous donor has made it possible to give each child a pumpkin. We're going to get to practice our hammering skills. So in your box, you're going to find a small pumpkin, some wooden golf tees, and a wooden hammer. The easiest way for the child to hammer the golf tees in is to put the pumpkin between their legs and then hold the tee with one hand and the hammer with the other. And they want to tap, tap, tap until this tee stands on its own. And then they can tap harder to get the tee all the way into the pumpkin. If they tap it all the way in, you still should be able to pull it out to use it someplace else if you like. If you want to feature a little letter or color or shape or number work, you can use mm, washable markers to write on the pumpkin. And then you can ask the child to put the T in the place that you call out. Or after the T's are in, you could use the string in your box to connect all the T's and make a web of connection from T to T. If you are thinking about using the pumpkin for a Halloween decoration and don't want to put holes everywhere, just put them on the back side of the pumpkin. These holes will cast little circles of light out the backside and should not interfere with your carving. Activity number 2. Our next activity is to paint some pumpkins using water balloons, of all things. In your box, you're going to find some balloons and some paint. Fill the balloons with water and then close up the balloons. Different amounts of water will give you different size balloons and therefore different images. So to paint, you want to dip the balloon in the paint and then press it to the paper. Now you could dip it in multiple colors or even paint over existing circles that are already on the paper. You could dip it multiple times. You could certainly add other things to it like stems or vines to your paintings. Whatever your child is interested in doing. Let the materials take your child on a journey using this unusual technique. We can't wait to see the results. Activity number 3 is a little book that your child could color and learn at the same time. We've included in your box the little sheets which will make up a book about the pumpkin life cycle. So you want to get your crayons and markers out to help turn this little black and white book into one filled with color. What color are you going to do your pumpkin? Are you going to go with the traditional orange or choose one of the other colors that pumpkins come in? We can't wait to see your color version of the book. Well, that's all we have for this week. Next week, we're going to be cooking. We will need 2 eggs and a stick and a half of butter that aren't actually in the box, so if you get those ready and make sure you have those ingredients handy, you'll be ready to cook next week. See you then.